Hello, beautiful people. LosingDrea here, and Domino back over my shoulder here. That's the kitty that's usually in the bedroom that nobody ever sees. She was the one that we rescued from that house. She was the outside kitty. This is not about Domino. Anyways, this is about my 69th week weigh-in. That's right. It's been 69 weeks. Now, I feel I should be a lot more further along as far as my weight loss is concerned. I should have already before been in Wonderland. However, be that so be it may, so that anywho, this isn't about my lack of being able to think of words at the moment either. However, just a couple of quick things I wanted to go through. It's not yet a complete week that I've been on the wheat-free, no processed, unnatural carbs and sugars challenge that I challenged myself. It's not anything I'm doing with any other group or person here on YouTube or otherwise. This is just a challenge that I myself decided to go on after my trainer mentioned to me Dr. Davis and a book called Wheat Belly, which I looked up online and was able to see through the first few pages through Amazon. I am going to be buying this book. I like the information that's in it, and anybody that I've seen or heard that knows about this book said it's a wonderful book that they have not been able to put down. I am going to, however, be getting it on my Kindle. Well, I keep saying my Kindle Fire. It's my mom's Kindle Fire. And I want that to be clear because I don't want her to ever think, or anybody who might have bought that for her to see this video and think I took over her Kindle. But I have a hard time reading. For anybody who hasn't seen my previous videos, you might always see me in glasses, and that is because I do have a hard time seeing without them. However, so reporting my weight loss for the week, I have a happy 4.2 pound loss. Very happy about that. This is coming from a person that was kind of stagnant in my weight loss, hadn't been losing much, mostly gaining, losing the same I was gaining, and just kind of maintaining. For the longest time I was in the 240s. In fact, going back to February of last year, I have recorded weights of in the 240s. So I know that I should have been long done with the 240s and probably into Wonderland. However, I was 238.6 pounds on last weigh-in date on my 68th week weigh-in, and now down to 34.4. I don't know that I can attribute that to the fact that I have not eaten any wheat products at all whatsoever since the day after. Because last Sunday I indulged on Asian buffet. This Sunday we went to Asian buffet, only it was different because I'm not eating wheat products. I ate only sushi, and I ate a little bit of rice, but then I started to take off the rice and just eat the sushi, and then for dessert I had just nothing but fruit. They had sliced peaches, they had melon, cut up melon like cantaloupe and honeydew, and then they had oranges, which weren't really that sweet, but that's what I ate. Oh, and some pineapple. It was like canned chunk pineapple. But that's what I chose to eat instead of what I normally would eat, egg clairs and all this other junk, because Sunday to me was always my treat day. I don't say cheat. I don't feel it's cheating. Cheating is something you do behind somebody's back so that they don't know about it. When I'm out here and I'm fessing to you guys that I went and I indulged and enjoyed myself one day out of a week or one day out of a month because Tom was in town, that to me is a treat day, not a cheat day. So let's get that straight for anybody that just does not know that. A little info for you out there. But yeah, a 4.2 pound overall loss I am so very, very thankful for. Again, not sure if it had anything to do with the fact that I stopped eating wheat. I haven't had any coffee. I had a couple of sips, mind you, because I don't know, I tried it and I thought I can do with the sweet and low, and it just wasn't happening for me. But outside of that, I have not had, and I had one little wedge of cheese, so I haven't even eaten any dairy, even though that was not part of my initial challenge. It wasn't my idea. I don't really generally eat dairy unless I eat a little bit of cheese. The only milk product that I have is almond milk, and that's not considered dairy. That's a lactose-free I don't even think it has soy in it. It's the Almond Breeze original unsweet milk that I indulge if I eat cereal or something. And the only cereal, like grain-wise, that I had eaten, the only grain that I ate basically was I had some brown rice one day for dinner last week. I had a little bit of white rice tonight with tonight's dinner because it happened to be in some of the sushi that I ate. There was some pieces of cream cheese. I pushed them out from the middle of the roll they were in. I did not eat that. And I tried to eat as little bit of the rice, if any at all possible. I did notice, now usually when I eat at the Asian buffet, I have to say, and not that I want this to be too much information, but I think that it's important to know of my continued findings in the fact that I had given up eating wheat during this week and not having coffee. I was getting this dull headache, which today I did not even wake up with at all. I feel more energized, refreshed, less bloated. My face is very clear. I don't know if you can see that. I know that the lighting in here has me looking kind of funkified. And I saw some blotchiness in my last video that I did in the middle of the night. But I have not been breaking out. I usually get really, really broken out in here. I don't know if it's eczema or rosacea or something, but I'm not getting any of that. I usually get very itchy around my scalp line in here and all in here. And I would get this very red over here, and it would be scaly. It would be a scaly thing that I'd want to scratch at and pick at, and then my face would get entirely red, which is just totally horrible. That has not happened. Eating at the Asian buffet, usually what happens is my nose starts running incredibly a lot, and I start feeling congested, and I start kind of coughing, like a congestive type of a cough, and hubby was doing it as well. He did eat a couple of things he probably shouldn't have tonight, and I noticed that his was worse than mine. I do believe it was probably from the rice, or I did eat a chicken, it was like chicken on a skewer, and I'm not sure, it might have a little soy that they might have cooked it. It's like a teriyaki chicken stick or something, and next time if I go there, I'm going to do no rice whatsoever, and then maybe try the chicken stick because it was delicious. But I took a picture that I'm probably going to show if you're a member, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you'll see it. I took a picture of the Kiko Man soy sauce bottle just to show the first ingredient on the bottle is wheat. So soy sauce is a no-no, and I do remember my trainer telling me that there is a product called coconut amino. She said it's quite expensive, but it tastes exactly like soy sauce. So for recipes that call for soy sauce in them, I'm still able to eat those things and cook with that particular product, let's say, in place of soy sauce. So there are alternatives. And so I'm going to look into that, because if I do decide to stick with this, especially after the pain that I got the other day after eating cheese, I can so totally see that I might be lactose intolerant. And let me touch on something really, really quick here. I don't know if I've done it before. Our body, over time, since we've been eating things generally, that everything has wheat product in it. From salad dressings to soups that we might consume, like Campbell's soups and many of the Progresso soups. There's so many things today that if you look at them now, they're now coming out with gluten-free, no wheat products, so on and so forth. They're getting on the bandwagon. They know the knowledge that I am now privy to, that I now am putting into practice with my daily lifestyle as far as cutting it out. When you cut something out that your body has built up an immunity to, and you then start to even slowly introduce it back into your, I'm going to use the word here loosely because I don't like it, diet, your daily feeding regimen, you then start to find out that you're no longer immune to it, and your body then will give the reaction, whether it's a reject of it or just nothing at all. In my case, I have to say that my body, with that slice of that little wedge of cheese that I had the other day, that woke me up 6 hours later Saturday morning with that excruciating pain, that I thought that was it. I was done for. That tells me I might be lactose intolerant. I never had that pain ever before in my life, having eaten cheese with the Cantina bowls, and I'll eat a little bit of the sprinkled mozzarella cheese, because mozzarella cheese is the less fat, less calorie cheese if you're going to choose to eat cheese on any lifestyle journey, diet, whatever you want to call it that you're on. But having not eaten it for several days and not eaten the wheat and then eating that, I can tell you I never want to eat another dairy product again as long as I live. So, yeah, I am not eating dairy either. The wheat product, again, getting back to what I was saying at the with the sniffles and the runny nose and the coughing and the feeling of congestion, I even said something to the woman that when we go up to pay, I said, "Do you notice something different about me this week?" And she said, "Well, you look fabulous. And you got color," and, she started going into all these things I wasn't expecting her to say. I said, I came up here the last time we were here, last Sunday, and I was with the tissue in my hand, and I said to you that, every time I come and eat here, I'm constantly like, my nose is running. I can't walk out of there without a napkin in my hand because my nose would run down my face. And I even said something to her because it was that bad. It was that noticeable. And she says, yeah, I noticed a lot of people doing that. So I said, yeah, I decided just to challenge myself and go for a week without eating wheat, and I told her about Dr. Davis and the Wheat Belly book and, a little bit about it, and I just kind of briefly touched on some stuff. It took maybe a minute of my time to do that, and she says, I'm going to try that myself because, I'm really feeling bad. And I explained to her how it was explained to me about how our intestines have those little things. It's like grass moving underneath the ocean floor, and how it catches the nutrients in the foods that we eat and helps deliver it throughout our body where we need it. However, gluten, which means glue in Latin, acts like a glue, and those little things end up going flat and getting glued down, and how they can't pick themselves up to grab a hold of those nutrients, and so those nutrients are just flying by. They're getting passed out too fast to be able to be absorbed in our bodies and used as they were meant to be used. And totally, that in itself makes so much sense to me. So without further ado, again, I am happy to say the 4.2 pound loss, whether it was from giving up the wheat and the non-processed and packaged and unprocessed sugars and unnatural sugars and carbs, or whether it was a little bit to do with the fact that I did get a little sickies on Monday and still wasn't feeling up to par Tuesday nor Wednesday, even though I gradually each of those days just started getting better and better. Whatever the case may be, I take it. I am so happy, and I'm going to continue what I'm doing probably another additional week, because I don't think going now back and trying to eat wheat is going to be an option. I think because I stopped, like I said, where you build up an immunity and then you stop, I think if I introduce wheat back into my diet, I'm going to be sorry for it. I'm going to get pains, gas, bloating, intestinal cramping. It's not going to be pretty. And how I know this is from watching other people who have tried wheat-free. Some people have not been too successful with it because regardless of getting sick, when you have an extreme eating disorder and you're an emotional eater and food is your friend and food is your go-to whenever you're having an issue, and you're sometimes happy you eat, sometimes sad you eat, when you're celebrating you eat, food is a staple in everyday family life for anybody. That you go to it for one reason or another. Maybe you think you're hungry, maybe you're just bored, whatever the case may be. And you build up that immunity by eating those things you're not even aware you're putting in your body. But when you take the time to read the label, don't eat those things. Stay on the outside perimeter of your grocer's market or supermarket. Don't buy packaged or prepackaged or pre-processed or prepared meals. Don't buy anything with that UPC code on it. Now, I know that some produce has a UPC code on it. That's not what I'm talking about. But stick to produce. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, meat, and eggs. That is it. It's proteins, it's meat, it's calcium, it's everything that you need in those items without eating the gluten, without eating the wheat. And if you can, totally give up grains altogether. Don't eat any cereals. I'm really considering the oatmeal. I tried steel cut oats one day, and I really enjoyed it, but it really wasn't a lot. And I have to say that I don't know if it was starch or what this gluey, gummy stuff was in it, even though it says it's gluten-free. But I wasn't feeling I didn't feel bad for eating it, but I wasn't feeling in my mind too good for what I seen after the fact in the pot, and this white film. It almost reminded me of glue when you spill it out on a table and it kind of has this dried up thing, and in some areas it flakes where it's almost transparent, and in other areas it's a little thicker, but almost tries to dry almost transparent, but it looked like glue. So yeah, maybe giving up grains altogether. And I know that if you look at the food pyramid, we're told the largest part of the food pyramid is all these grains, and we're told to eat the majority of grains, and then vegetables, and then your meats and what have you, and I think fruit is at the top, and anything outside of that, don't even bother. Like cupcakes, I don't think are on the food pyramid, and neither are cakes and candies and any of those processed sugars. But the actual food pyramid itself, we're told eat grains, eat lots and lots and lots of grains. But I have to tell you, I've never felt better not eating them. So with that said, be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, but just be you. Be the boss of your own loss if you're on a weight loss journey. I will definitely be seeing you in my next video. Bye guys, be blessed.